If I look sick, it's because I don't have makeup on right now. I just showered and that's it. As you can see, this is my new, I guess, gaming. It's my new woman cave. Okay, it's my new woman cave. My gaming setup is on this side, on that wall, over there. My divination setup is, well, you guys can't see it right now, but I have a set of decks to my left and then a set of decks to my right. I think my last setup, I had both my tarot deck shelves just back to back together. I'm trying to use more of the space as I can because this room is way bigger than my last woman cave, which I picked on purpose. This is supposed to be the master bedroom. I didn't want to use it for that. I wanted to use it as my office because I spend most of my time in my office than my actual bedroom. So I'm excited. Those lights that you see right here were actually the lights that I had just wrapped around my tarot shelves. So I'm like, let me just put them on the closet door. This is also the only room that has a closet, which isn't the best closet either. No other rooms have closets for some reason. I'm gonna miss that because all of the rooms in my old apartment had pretty spacious closets. I don't even know if I'm gonna post this video, to be honest. I just pressed record and I just wanted to see what's gonna come out of my mouth. I don't want to do like a full house tour because of, I guess, safety reasons, you know, stalkers and things like that. But this is mainly gonna be what you guys are gonna see is this room right here. So you're mainly gonna see this. Behind me, my pretty lights over here. It's still obviously very empty. It still sounds very echoey in this room because it's not full of all my stuff yet. The more full a room is, the more, yeah, does that make sense? The more stuff that's in a room, the less echoey it is. This is what I'm trying to say. But I do plan on getting like lights. There's like an evil eye light that I want to get. I'm not sure where I want to put it though. I might put it on the wall behind me somewhere or this wall right here because I'm trying to see like what angles the camera's gonna capture more to decorate that more. I did also just try the angle on my gaming setup over there. That's mainly gonna capture behind me, which is gonna be these lights and this wall right here. So either way, whichever view I'll choose, whether it's my divination, if I'm recording for like divination stuff, my tarot channel, or if I'm recording for gaming stuff, my gaming channel, both of them are gonna have, or you're gonna see like gaming decorations or like divination decorations in the room. So it's gonna be a mixture of both. But yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna take me a hot second to decorate the way I want to, but baby steps. I just noticed my hair looks like a mess. Let me put it down just for a little bit. I closed on my house. It's still weird to think that this is my house. This is my house. It's just weird being a homeowner to tell somebody like, oh, my house. Yeah, it's a house. It's not an apartment. Even though my apartment I used to call like my house because I lived there. But yeah, it hasn't, I don't think it's hit me yet. I think it's gonna hit me once I have fully like furnished and put most, if not all of my stuff away, because still have a lot of things left to unpack. I think I have like 70 or 60% of my stuff to unpack. But I don't think it's gonna hit me until like I have my sala set up, sala being the living room. Once I have like a couch in there, which is probably gonna take me like 2 years to get. If anybody cares to help with a little donation though, to help me furnish my house, I will have I think I have Venmo and CashApp in the description. You don't have to donate obviously, but it's just if you guys want to help me out with like furnishing my new house, with like decorations for my tarot and gaming room. I right now I have like a small wish list for the home. I'm gonna be adding once I realize what I need for it. But for the most part right now, it's a short wish list. So whatever you guys donate is gonna go towards that wish list, which I'll probably put like a little video of what I currently have on the wish list right now. It's been it's been a little crazy. It's been a little hectic. I don't even know where to start. I don't even know if I'm gonna post this video, to be honest, because I look like shit. But I was supposed to close, well, no, yeah. I was technically supposed to close on April 24th or 26th. Towards the end of April is when I was supposed to close, which that didn't happen because, you know, delays happen. It's expected, right? And then kept going back and forth with like the loan people about, I send them everything and then I ask like, is there anything else you guys need so that we don't delay this, you know, because I can send everything you need, just tell me. And they're like, no, this is everything. And then the next day it's like, oh, we need this and this and this. So I obviously get pissed off because I'm like, you just wasted another day of trying to confirm the approval. Because mind you, my apartment pay dates is from the 15th to the 15th. So I'm paid from the 15th of the previous month till the 15th, 11:59 p.m. for the next month, right? So like I'm already on a time limit. I was already on a time limit in April because my lease ended in April. But they didn't ask to renew, which is, it's not like out of the ordinary because usually the whole time I've been at that apartment, I've always been the one to remind the landlord like, hey, when are we going to renew? Or just following up with you to let you know that I'm good to renew, you know, things like that. It was always me to follow up with them ahead of time. But this time I didn't do that. So I'm wondering if maybe that's why they forgot. Because again, I did it all the years that I've been there except this one. Anyways, what was I saying? So the time limit, yes. So I was like, I need to close like before the 15th. Because if I don't, then we're going to waste another month till I can close because I'm gonna have to pay rent for another month, right? So obviously I was freaking out, and that's why I was getting mad and annoyed that the loan people were like, no, we have everything we need. Guess what? No, we don't, because we need this and that. Can you send it? So that's why I got mad and annoyed, because they claim to say that they had everything, but then they don't. But I already know sometimes banks don't communicate things to the loan people the way they're supposed to, or they don't know until they find out. I guess that's not their fault, but still, I get annoyed. I get mad, you know? So that was the issue in the beginning, is them estimating closing to the end of April, and then that didn't happen. Then they were estimating, okay, the first week of May. That didn't happen. So I was like, all right, well, these are my off days from work. This is when I can close. If we can close those days, you know? And then finally, I got the confirmed approval for the loan to get the house. I think May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Oh no, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. I got the confirmed approval on the 4th, like early afternoon, almost late morning. So when we got the confirmed approval, I had already let my lawyer know, like, hey, these are my off days, this is when I can close. So they were already trying to work on closing the next day, but the sellers people were like, we can't close that day. So I was like, god damn it. So then we had to push it back the following week, and we ended up closing on the 11th of May. That's when I got the keys. That's when everything was like signed and finalized. Other than like the whole house thing, the other stuff that's still like very anxiety ridden or gave me anxiety was like setting everything up for the house, like all the bills, making sure the gas, electric was shut off from the apartment but turned on for the house. The water bill, which I've never paid a water bill, let alone a garbage bill, so I didn't know how that worked or how to set that up. So that was already like giving me anxiety, because I was like, am I gonna have water? How am I gonna shower? I need to drink water. I drink water every day. I can't go without it. So that in itself was like giving me anxiety. So I was like, I've never done a water bill, let alone a garbage bill. Like, how does that even work? I figured it out though. So all that was set up. And then also the internet. I have my internet finally, obviously, because you guys might be seeing this video if I do upload it. That was another thing where I was like, once I get internet, then I'll start to feel more like home, because then I can go back to like gaming with my brother, with some friends, you know, just feeling more chill and relaxed. So I was very happy when the internet was finally set up. I think the internet was the last thing that I needed set up too. So everything for the house has been set up. Now it's just time to pay those bills, which is, I think, gonna be in like 2 or 3 weeks. The regular bills, my first mortgage payment. It's so weird just to say that. My first mortgage payment isn't till July 1st, which is funny because it's the day before my birthday. I'm like, oh yay, for my birthday I'm gonna get bills. That's great. My birthday's on July 2nd and my first mortgage payment is on July 1st. But at least I have time to save up to make sure I have enough to pay it, but also enough saved on the side. But man, throughout the whole process since putting the offer on this house, it's just been like nonstop anxiety. And I already have bad sleeping patterns, but like with this, it's been worse. So there's all that. I'm just glad that it's done. Finally done with all that process. Now it's just unpacking and setting everything up, but also like saving for like the furniture and stuff that I need. 2 of the rooms here don't, it's a 3 bedroom, and yes, I am using all the rooms. I have my bedroom, I have my office, and I have my art room, which in my art room, it's my art room where I make my art. But it's also where I like fix orders, package orders, where I paint, draw, you know, arts and crafts, things like that. I even have I have my easel up already. I haven't painted in so long, but I was so happy to finally put my easel up so I can paint. Is that how you say it? Easel? Am I saying it weird? I feel like I'm saying it weird. I haven't used it in forever, so my bad if I'm saying it weird. But I have it set up. It's on a specific corner, so when the sunlight comes in, you know, like things like that. So, but because those rooms don't have closets, it took away a lot of the space that I would use to like store stuff. So I have to save up to buy like specific cabinets or things like that, or shelves and stuff for mainly for the art room, not so much my bedroom. I do have to buy like I think they're portable closet, I think is what it's called. I'll put a picture of the one that I'm trying to get on the screen. But yeah, since there's no closet in there, I'm like, I need a closet. I have nowhere to put my clothes. My clothes are just like thrown on my bed or on the floor somewhere. I think once everything is furnished and set up and most, if not all of my stuff is unpacked, or, you know, the clutter is put away, like the boxes and things like that, I feel like that's when it's 100% probably gonna hit me, because I still have that whole anxiety of being somewhere new. Not only that, but like the neighborhood too. Total opposite from where I used to be. My old neighborhood, I love that neighborhood. I was born, raised, grew up there. I'm not gonna say what it is because obviously I have family friends that live there. Safety reasons, I'm not gonna say what my old neighborhood was. But what I will say is that it wasn't the safest. It's very different. It's very quiet here. And it sounds weird to say, but because it's so quiet, that gives me anxiety. Because I'm not used to it. And I know I'll get used to it eventually. But the other thing that I'm also excited to do, but also scared to do, is getting to know the neighborhood. Like walking around, getting familiar with like routes that I can take, walking around, things like that. But yeah, it's really different. I have to say, because I don't drive. I do Uber or Lyft or whatever. I don't know, I just got a house. I don't have the money for a car right now. But it's like I have to save for like the Ubers or Lyfts or whatever for when I go to work, when I actually have to go to work in the office. And then I have to save also just to be able to go visit my family. I would take public transportation, but it takes so long. And then also the safety part of it too, like going to see my family and then taking public transportation. I don't know what time I'll be back. Safety reasons, especially being a woman, unfortunately. But yeah, like things like that. And I thought about these things already too. Like I think ahead of time, right? I plan ahead of time, and I write numbers. That's what my dad used to do a lot. He used to like always be writing numbers. We didn't know what he was calculating or what, but he was always doing math, writing numbers. So I did that ahead of time. I do the same thing, I guess, that my dad does. I got that from my dad. So these are things I already knew that I had to deal with. It's just the whole figuring out how much to save and things like that. And obviously it's based on how much I make at work. But yeah, so it's been a process. The other thing is there's just a lot of stuff that comes with a home that I never done before. Like I've never owned my own washer dryer, for example, something so simple. So I didn't know that you had to change your dryer's filter, I think it's called. Excuse me, where you have to like clean it out, where it gets full of lint. If not, that could be a fire hazard. I didn't know that. And then your washer, you have to drain it for some reason. I didn't know that. I gotta worry about cleaning my gutters. I gotta worry about the lawn. I didn't know there was lawn food, like food for the grass. I didn't even know that was a thing. That sounds so weird. Like stuff like that. I have to buy a lawnmower. I've never mowed the lawn before. I figured it's like cutting hair, which I usually pretty much cut my hair, but it's really just the ends. So for me, I kind of see it as like that might be fun because I'm going to be cutting grass and trying to get it even. I don't know. I see like a weird game trying to even the grass out. I'm weird like that. But I have to get a lawnmower. I have to get grass food for some reason. I have to get a hose. But yeah, there's just like all this weird stuff that I have to do. And I don't mind, right? Because I'm learning something new. I always think it's pretty neat when you learn something new, and especially if once you get like confident enough to do it yourself and you do it and you're like, yes, I did it. I understood correctly and I did the job myself. So things like that I'm, I guess, excited for it, but nervous at the same time because I never did it before. So we'll see how that goes. You take care of the house and the house will take care of you, right? Oh, I wanted to talk about how the move has been for Zoe and Nala, because Zoe, I mean, I mentioned it on the channel before because they're two different personalities, right? Nala's from the streets, all right? She's from the hood, from the streets. But even like being from the streets, she's like the nicest. Since the first day that I got her, she's like the nicest cat. You would think that she was owned by someone, actually. But Nala, she's chill. She doesn't really talk much. And by talk, I mean meow. She's very curious. She's very confident. She likes humans. She doesn't really like any other animals. She doesn't like any other animal being in her bubble also. She's very chill, but she can be very, what's the word? It's like she makes a big deal out of nothing when it comes to, like, let's say Zoe's walking by her. Nala's like sitting down, right? She's just minding her own business, looking around. Let's say Zoe walks by Nala. Nala just hisses at her. Zoe didn't do anything except walk by her. Nala would hiss. So she makes a big deal out of nothing, right? And I tell her like, shut up. Don't yell at Zoe. But that's Nala. Like she's the sweetest cat ever. She's like a, what do they call them? A lap cat? Like she'll jump on my lap. She likes to snuggle and things like that. So that's Nala. That's Nala's personality. Zoe, on the other hand, Zoe is very talkative. She's, I would say like silly. She's the silly one. She's got more of like that childlike energy about her, which is why like me and her bonded so quickly too. She's also chill. She's very playful. She's not a lap cat. She doesn't really like to chill on my lap or anything like that. Not too much of a snuggler. Sometimes, like, if she does jump on the bed, sometimes she'll snuggle up on me. Like, in the armpit area right here if I'm laying down. Or just like she'll like lay on one of my legs if I'm laying down on the bed. She'll just like use it as a pillow or something. So she's not as snuggly, but she's still like loving. She's just not snuggly like Nala is. Zoe, with other animals, she likes other animals. She gets curious about them and she wants to play. With other humans though, she's not very fond of other humans. Not fond as in like she hates them or hisses at them. More like she's afraid. So she'll go hide. If she sees or hears somebody else, she'll just hide. She'll find some place or somewhere to hide. Or she'll like stick her head somewhere so that she doesn't see you. So she gets anxiety, I would say. So with the move, when we were moving, both of them were like in their cages and stuff. Nala was just like, ooh, she's like curious, looking around, like, what's all this? Not talking, obviously, but she's looking out the window like, ooh, where are we going? And she's chill, right? She's like relaxed. She ends up taking a nap too. Zoe, on the other hand, she tried to relax, but she meowed and cried the whole drive, the whole time. And I had Zoe on my lap because like I said, I know she has anxiety and all that stuff. So I had Zoe on my lap on her in her little cage. And Nala was like on the side somewhere, but we had her propped for her to be able to see me, just so she knows like, hey, I'm still there, so don't get scared and things like that. But she was fine. Nala was fine. Zoe wasn't though. Zoe was crying the whole time. I was trying to calm her, console her, things like that, letting her know it was okay. And every now and then she'll get like comfy trying to go to sleep or to rest, but she'll just get back up again, start meowing. So Zoe had a hard time with the actual physical move, and then she's kind of still having a hard time with adjusting. I think it's because everything is still like in boxes, which is probably why I still have a hard time adjusting. But the first 2 days were the worst for Zoe, because she kept hiding in like this weird noodle thing. I'll put a picture of it on the screen, but she kept hiding in this weird noodle thing and she wouldn't come out. She'd be in there almost the whole day. And I was getting worried because I'm like, she didn't come out to eat. She didn't even come out to go to the bathroom. Like, she didn't come out to pee. She didn't come out to poo. The whole day, she didn't come out to drink water, to eat her food. And I was like, baby, you're gonna get sick. You have to come out. So what I have to do is, unfortunately, I have to force her out, right? So the little noodle thing, it's bendy, so you can like bend it to be like, I guess like a U shape, unclip it, and then it'll just be a long noodle tube thing. So what I did is I unclipped it because it was a U shape and she hid in there. I unclipped it and I was trying to like move it so I can like get her out of it. So I was like shimmying her out of the noodle so to force her out, because I'm like, she has to eat something. I got her out. She couldn't find anywhere else to hide because she was using that to hide. I think I had picked her up and I brought her to where her bowl is, and she ate a little bit, she drank, but I'm like, it's better than nothing, right? I noticed like her ears were really, really hot. Usually if they're really, really hot, that's a sign of them also kind of getting sick, or they feel flushed. If their ears are a bit more cool, then that means they're fine. So her ears were like really, really hot, and I was like, oh no, maybe she's gonna get a UTI or something because she hasn't peed in forever. Oh, and then I was trying to show her where the litter is, because the other thing too, whenever you move, obviously your cats are gonna get confused on like, okay, where's the litter now? So I'm just gonna find somewhere to take a shit because I don't know where the litter is, which is what Nala did. Yeah. But I'll talk about that in a bit. So I had to show her where the litter box is so she can at least like go smell it, know that that's a litter box, so she knows where she can do her business. I don't remember her going to the bathroom when I showed her where it was. Where she ended up hiding was by one of the kitchen counters. There's like a weird lip on the bottom of the counter. And then the floor. There's the floor, a little wall, and then like a lip or something. But she hid there, or at least she tried to put her face in there so that people wouldn't see her face. So I'm like, dang it. So she found a corner to just like stick her head and hide, I guess. I was like, all right. So what I did is I put like 2 crates together and put, I think, a curtain or something a folded curtain on top to kind of create this weird, not a tent, what do they call them? We would do them in sleepovers. A fort? Yeah. So I created a weird fort for her because I'm like, okay, well, if you're feeling scared and you want somewhere to hide, let me make you some place where you can hide, but it'll still be open for me to see you, but also for you to be able to see me and see that it's okay. So I did that. I put like 2 crates of my stuff together, a curtain to cover part of the section where she can like feel like she's hiding. Cause I'm like, I don't want her out in the open if she's still gonna be trying to hide somewhere awkwardly, cause that means she's still afraid. So let me try to create somewhere like a safe space, I guess, for her to go hide but still be accessible. That way, little by little, when she gets comfortable, she'll come out instead of me like forcing her to be out somewhere, right? So I did that. I think she was there for like a few hours that day when I built her little fort. And then towards the middle of the days when she came out on her own and she started feeling more comfortable, her little tail was also out with a little slight curve. Those of you who aren't cat people, that's a sign to show you guys that they feel happy, they feel comfortable and things like that. So when I saw that, I was like, oh yes, so she's getting comfy. But like anytime there's like a weird noise or something loud, obviously she's gonna get scared and go hide. Nala, not so much. She's more like, what was that kind of thing, but beforehand, Zoe wasn't like that either in like the apartment or whatever. So it's taken a toll on her. She's still getting used to the place. I mean, I'm still getting used to the place. But I think we'll fully feel comfortable once we're fully settled in, fully unpacked, once it's actually furnished and all that. Today I got one of their cat trees in. I ordered a smaller one because they are getting older and I'm kind of worried about the bigger one that I used to have. Bigger as in like taller. I'm kind of worried of them, you know, if when they're older, they might have like joint issues or something. And because it's so high, they might fall over or something. So I'm like, I just got one that I think was like half the size of their old one. I think their old one was almost 6 feet high. And then this one I think is like 3.5 feet. So it's smaller, but like it's still big enough for them to be able to look out the windows. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot more that I wanted to mention, but this video is almost 40 minutes long. And again, that's if I am gonna post it, because I still don't know, because I kind of look like crap. Oh, there is more. There's more chisme. Because I didn't know the set date for closing, I didn't tell my landlord that I was leaving yet. In my defense, though, I didn't want to give him a date if I didn't know a date, because like, what if they told me an estimate date, but it ended up not being true, and then I had told my landlord, oh, this is the estimated date, and they're already looking for someone, or maybe they already found someone to take the apartment, but then the loan people come back and tell me like, hey, guess what, we lied, that's not your estimated date. And then I tell my landlord that, and then they're like, oh, well, I already have people that are waiting to rent it out on this date, so I need you out by this date. So that's what I didn't want to happen. It sounds wrong, but rather him be kind of screwed than me, because if I was screwed, I would technically be homeless if the timing didn't work out. Him, he's just out of like a tenant for, I don't know, a week or two. He's not gonna be homeless. But me, I would have been homeless had the timing not worked out and had he found tenants already without me having a legit date when I was gonna close. So that being said, I don't really feel bad doing what I did. And what I did is I pretty much waited till I moved out all my stuff, till I had the keys, right? Physically had the keys. I started moving out all my stuff just to have kind of like an idea of, okay, when will I be fully moved out? So I can tell him. I didn't end up telling him till the 15th, which is technically, I was paid up till the 15th. 15th at 11:59 p.m., almost midnight. A minute before midnight. So I didn't end up telling him until the 15th at around 9:30 p.m. So I'm still within my paid time for the apartment. But I told him really last minute, obviously, but like I said, better him be slightly screwed over than me being homeless and telling him too early and all that stuff. I thought he was gonna get like mad. I knew he was gonna be annoyed because obviously it's like, why didn't you tell me ahead of time? It is what it is, right? I thought he was gonna be mad. He was annoyed. He was also surprised because it wasn't something he was expecting. And to be honest, I don't want to say I heard pain in his voice, but it's kind of like, not that he was disappointed. I guess he was kind of sad to see me go. Because I felt and I heard something in his tone when he found out that I was actually leaving, or that I had left already. Because I never caused any problems. The only things that would seem annoying for me when I was a tenant is like just letting him know when there was like things wrong with the building, which is, it shouldn't even be an annoyance. It's your building. You should be taking care of it. Or like when the neighbors, the other tenants would leave the doors open, which would be a safety hazard, things like that. Any Joe Schmo can walk in. When the other tenants would be like smoking when they shouldn't be smoking in the building, which is a fire hazard. Like things like that, I would let him know, and it wasn't like a daily thing or anything like that. Or like if the neighbors would leave dog shit everywhere or not pick up after the animals, like they had cats and dogs, and I had a back porch that I never used because they always had their animals shitting and peeing over there, and I'm like, that's gonna damage my property. And I know my landlord isn't going to pay me for that, for what they damaged, nor are the neighbors. So I never used the back porch. But like they would always have their animals peeing and shitting everywhere. At one point, their dog took a shit on my front, what is that called? The mat that you have when you walk into a house. There's like a mat on the floor. But their dog took a shit on that in front of my door. And yeah, there was just a lot of issues. So mainly with the other tenants kind of damaging his property and things like that, or making it unsafe or feel unsafe, at least for me. So like things like that, I would bring it up to him like, hey, just so you know, this and that. And again, it wasn't like a daily thing or even a weekly thing, right? But I would just let him know so that he's aware. So it might have been like things that would annoy most people, but on the other hand, I was kind of trying to watch out for him, just to be like, hey, this is what's happening, but also watching out for me, obviously. But I always paid my rent. I never not paid my rent. I think I was there for 7 years. I was there for 7 years. And I even told him, like, I also want to thank you for being a good landlord towards me, because I'm sure a lot of you guys know some landlords are not great. They shouldn't even be a landlord to begin with. But yeah, he was actually a pretty good landlord towards me. So I thought he was going to be mad when I was going to go turn in the apartment, right? Like when you actually turn in the keys. I didn't want to go alone either because, you know, my landlord being a male, me being a female, and him also being a little annoyed because of how this happened. I was like, I don't want to be in that situation alone with the guy who's agitated. Not to say he would have tried anything, but it's just for me to feel safe regardless, which sucks. That's how we have to think. But so my brother came with me to turn it in, and he wasn't really being difficult at all when we were there either. It was more, like I said, I still felt that whole like it sucks that you're leaving kind of thing. He didn't really make it that difficult. I doubt I'm gonna get my full deposit back. I'll know next week once I come by and he tells me like the estimate that he was told for what he has to fix or whatever, which it's really just like little paint jobs. I could have done it myself, but I was kind of in a hurry to move. So, but things like that, like that's not really gonna cost you anything except like some paint, which even then you're not gonna use the whole bucket. You're probably gonna use like 5 brush strokes. But yeah, that's what happened with the apartment. I thought it was gonna take him a while to rent it out anyways. Oh, I did take a little video of the apartment too, which I wanted to show you guys. what it looked like what it looks like with it being all empty now. But it was huge. The apartment was huge. The apartment had or has 3 bedrooms. The bedrooms were decent sized. The living room was huge. It was huge. What I loved about that living room though is all the windows that it had, because it let in so much sunlight. My cats loved it, especially because like the windowsills had like a big enough space for them to sit and look out the window. So I'm really gonna miss that living room because how big and bright and open it was. But it was huge. The apartment was huge. My house was like half my apartment, or what my apartment was, which I don't mind. Like, it's a small cozy house, you know. I'm wondering how much she's gonna charge rent to the next person. Oh, that's the other thing too. It's like with the landlord, I guess, what was it? This was before COVID. He had upped the rent one time, which wasn't a lot. He upped it by like $50. And I was like, all right, that's doable. And then the following year, I think it was COVID year when COVID started. And then a little after that year is when he sent like an insurance inspector or something to come look at the apartment. And then the following year, or no, that same year, because it was like a few months within that following year and I was supposed to renew. So he had sent an insurance inspector, or I guess he didn't send him, the insurance sent it. His insurance sent an inspector for I don't know what, but once that inspection happened and it was time to renew the lease at that time, he told me like a day before renewing the lease, like, hey, I have to up the rent $200 now because my insurance went up. So I was like, what the fuck? The year before, you upped it $50. How did you go from $50 to upping it to $200 more? Like, that's a big ass change, you know? $50, sure. $200? Whoa, that's a little worrisome. So when he did that, that's what triggered in my head that I need to look for my house now. Because if he does that same shit again, where he ups it another $200 or even $300, whatever, if he ups it again, then God knows if I'll ever be able to get a house at that point. Because at that point, I'll kind of be trapped at that point. So I was like, if I don't leave now, then I'm going to be stuck. And it sucks and it's scary to leave and take this big step towards being a homeowner. But if I wouldn't have done it, I'm pretty sure I would have been stuck, because I know that he was going to up the rent again since he had another insurance inspector come in. And he's going to use that as an excuse to up the rent again. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened with that. But the other thing too, when I first moved into that apartment, I already had it in my head, I'm not getting another apartment after this one. After this apartment, I'm getting my house. It ended up happening that way anyways. Because like I said, it's not the way I wanted it to happen, you know? I wanted to give myself like 2 or 3 more years in that apartment before I got my house to have enough saved up and all that stuff. But stuff happened and I guess I got it ahead of time. It worked out though, I guess, right? All right, I've been talking for like 50 minutes. It shouldn't be a 50-minute video for you guys. My throat is really dry though, because I've just been like talking straight and coughing. I'm assuming this is going to be uploaded because I've been talking for 50 minutes. I'm not going to not upload it if I've been talking for 50 minutes. But I still feel like I'm missing something that I wanted to tell you guys. If I remember, then I'll do it in another vlog video. If you stuck to this part of the video, leave the house emoji. I think there's 2. It's the regular house and there's like a house with trees or bushes or something. Either or. Leave the house emoji if you stuck to this part of the video. I'd very much appreciate it, and know that you are being a trooper for sticking to this part of the video because the video is so long. Don't forget to like the video as well, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!